Andrew Tate was a world-class kickboxer, world champion kickboxer. He was on Big Brother.
He got kicked off, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And kicked off.
He represents toxic masculinity.
He is. He is sort of toxic. I mean, he says crazy stuff.
They seize his car collection as investigation continues.
What do you think of all his stuff?
I don't know what's happening, right? Like, what really happened?
Nobody knows. A lot of people are acting like they know. If you go read it,
well, they want him,
which is crazy.
They want him to go down.
People are actually want the charges to be true, which is crazy because that would mean a lot of bad shit to happen to a lot of bad people.
Yeah, I would rather the charges be incorrect. If he really did, sex traffic people, if he really did all the things he's saying, I hope that gets proven in court, and I hope he gets punished if he really did that. If he didn't do that, I hope he gets exonerated, and I hope he gets the fuck out of Romania. I know a lot of what he does is theater. A lot of what he does is satire. He plays the role of this boastful misogynist who smokes cigars and drives Lamborghinis, and that's his thing. And because of that, he's amassed an amazing amount of money. And he's done it by doing this character, this online persona, but then also says very wise things. He says ridiculous shit, but also says really interesting things. He's a very smart guy. Patrick Bet-David interviewed him after he got canceled off of all social media, and Patrick is fantastic. He's really good at letting people talk and talking to everybody. He's the perfect guy to handle that because he is not afraid of to talk to anybody. And they talk for hours, and you get to see this is a very intelligent and calculated guy. You might not agree with his message. You might not agree with all the misogynist stuff. You might not agree with, and I don't agree with it, all the crazy antics, but you cannot deny that that's been incredibly successful because it resonates with a lot of young men who don't feel represented in the media. Do they agree with what he's saying? That doesn't mean they agree with it. They think it's fun. It's like pro wrestling. He's like a bad guy in pro wrestling. He's a heel. He's smoking cigars with his Lamborghinis, and
I think there's probably a lot of people think that, and then I think there's probably other people who take it seriously, which is where it's a super...
Yes, that is where it gets fucked up. Young boys repeating the shit that he's saying to young girls because
he says
that they're supposed to
property
do that.
and he owns them, which is nuts. You hope people are like, oh, that's an act. For an intelligent guy, which I agree with you, he is, to be doing the things he's being accused of doing and then go seek publicity is a very unwise move.
If he did the things
Correct.
that he did.
You would think if you're committing atrocities, you would try to stay under the radar. He does quite the opposite.
I mean,
that's like the pizza
right?
thing, the pizza box. I don't know if you saw that. Everybody saying he got busted because of the pizza box. And then the authorities that had nothing to do with it.
No, they knew he was in Romania. It was just, what's that word? Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude. That's what it was. Like, he's making fun of Greta Thunberg, and then he gets fucking arrested right afterwards. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
The way it happens, people said it's the biggest, self-owned
third biggest tweet.
It's kind of funny when she said that's what happens when you don't recycle your pizza
that
boxes.
That was good. That was good.
That shit's hilarious. You got to give it to her. Why are you going after some 19-year-old autistic girl who's really into climate change?
He just did that out of the blue?
Yeah.
That move from somebody who's being accused of sex trafficking, rape was thrown in there. And then you're out there being like, look at me, crazy.
The latest thing that they're saying is tax evasion, right? Isn't
that
what they're
it?
saying?
The reason he was kicked off of Big Brother is not the reason that was thought of. It says that he was arrested for suspicion of rape in 2015.
He was investigated over allegations of sexual assault and physical abuse in the UK, during which time he appeared on Big Brother for 5 days. UK authorities declined to prosecute.
Then a video was found of him and a girl doing something. They came out and said this was like a kinky video they were making, and everyone thought
the girl came out and said that was very consensual and that they were doing role play and that they liked to do this thing where he would beat her up.
I don't fucking believe Vice. How can you believe anything that is said about somebody so controversial? Because everybody seemingly has already made up their mind where to get real information on him. Who knows?
All the objectionable stuff, I think, also was unnecessary. All the boastful shit and the shit about him being, the top G and all that stuff, all that shit's great. The misogynistic stuff, like if you have daughters or if you have a wife or if you have sisters, you don't want that. That narrative, putting that out there, that's negative to everybody. It's not even positive to him. It's not necessary.
We had him on one of our podcasts, and he almost struck me exactly how you said, making sense, smart, and then he says something so
wild,
over the top, literally like women are my property, like I own them. It's like, whoa, what'd you just say? And that's what he does. It's also another thing, like this Matrix thing, which he has. If he committed these crimes, he's sort of brilliant. Be like, they're coming for me in the next couple days because you know they're coming. And then your followers go, aha, he was right. It's like a self-fulfilling and that's where anything's a slippery slope.
He's also a wild dude that lives in the world of kickboxing. That is a wild group of people. I mean, you pay attention to like top flight kickboxers, Melvin Manhoef. There's some wild fucking people in that world. That is a crazy world where there's not a lot of money and you're facing fucking straight up killers. There's all sorts of different personalities in that world, but it's a different kind of human. Wild, masculine, very aggressive people. That's part of his shtick.
If you want to use the word toxic masculinity, he's it.
The bad stuff that he said embodies that.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why people are rooting for what he said to be true, because they don't want that.
But you're still crazy to root for that because you're not thinking about the victims. That means a lot of people were hurt.
If it's true, you want him to be punished.
Correct.
But you also hope that he's not accused of these things when it's just because of his bombastic personality and talking shit and getting all this attention, which he clearly has done. The guy went viral in a way that no one has. And so quickly.
Yeah.
In a while, we're like my 12-year-old and my 14-year-old were asking me about it. All over TikTok and all over everything. And if you just look at some of those little
part
clips.
In a weird way. If your 12-year-old and 14-year-old are hearing some of the outrage, like nobody wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't even have a TikTok, I think. And he was like the #1 guy on TikTok. Crazy.
Right? I mean, they banned him from everything. They banned him from Facebook. The only thing he's still on is
Elon,
Twitter.
Elon brought him back.
Yeah, I agree with. I think you should be able. I don't think banning people's the way. I think this exchange with Greta Thunberg is a perfect example of how to counteract that.
Yeah.
Like she just mocks him. He gets arrested and she has the fucking tweet of the year making fun of his arrest.
Yeah.
And a fucking perfect one-liner. That's what happens if you don't recycle your pizza boxes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's genius. That's why it's good that someone like that is on social media, because you get a chance for people to participate in the conversation.
I agree.